Hello everybody, welcome to Stories, Treasures and Tea. So nice to have you here this week. Last week I wasn't filming. I was watching the news way too much, and it's just a sad state of affairs in our world. And I pray for all the people that are affected. I was thinking about when I went to England, and it was such a nice trip and travel. And it was a beautiful trip. Our travel was pretty good, but it's always good to get home. Absolutely. Do you feel that way too? Is it always good to be home after you've been away? Let me know in the comments how you feel about that. And please subscribe if you haven't already. So I was in my town this week and looking around and realizing how good it is to be home. And I videoed some areas of the town, and I think some of these places look almost like England, where I was, because we have a historical town here. And so I was really appreciating it more, I think. I was watching also this week, I was watching a YouTube content creator, and she's called Nanny and the Moose, and she is 84 years old. And what she was talking about was what she uses on her face, and she's got beautiful skin at 84 years old, and she uses Vaseline and also Nivea. All these years, that's what she has used. So it made me think of Mary Kay Cosmetics. Mary Kay Ash was her name, I think, when she married her last husband. Because I know that in one of the moisturizers, and I think it's the Intense Moisturizer, there is Vaseline. And it's interesting because my sister, who just turned 75, and we just celebrated her 75th birthday with a beautiful afternoon tea. It was so much fun. She has always used Vaseline. So it's interesting that some people think, well, that petroleum jelly, but according to Nanny and the Moose, she says that it's kind of it holds in the moisture. So if we put on some serum and some moisturizer, it holds in that moisture, which is good, so we don't dry out. So that was an interesting fact that I saw on YouTube this week. And speaking of Mary Kay, I sold Mary Kay. Did you ever sell Mary Kay or buy it? I know it's still available, but I don't think it's, in this area, it's not as readily available. But I remember in the 70s, my good friend, she got into Mary Kay, selling it. She got me into it, and she became like a district manager, I think they called it, and she had several people under her, and she almost got to the pink Cadillac. Because if you remember, Mary Kay would give pink Cadillacs to the people who got a certain amount of sales, because she was very into rewarding women, which I really liked. I know that you didn't get to keep the pink Cadillac, but you could have it for a year or until, you know, your sales kept up. So it was a very interesting theory. I remember it was home parties, and all my memories came back to me about Mary Kay. You would have these little pink mirrors, and each person would have a mirror. They would take off all their makeup, and then you would start the whole routine of cleansing and toning and moisturizing and maybe the makeup. It was really an interesting concept for sure. I'm going to talk about now my treasures. And I did go to a thrift store this week, and I got 2 items that I'd like to show you. And one of them is this beautiful little vase, and I liked it because I loved this shape, and I liked that it was smaller than the usual vases. Beautiful. I don't know if it's like a valuable one, but I love it, and I just was pleased to get something smaller. Sometimes it's nice to have that. So that was one of my treasures this week. And the other was this print, which I thought looked so fall-like. It's just so pretty. It's by an artist by the name of Diane Woods, and I know she is a lover of cats. She did a lot of cats, so I just thought that would be a nice thing to put into my fall decor. I love that. The other thing I just want to talk about is, of course, my tea. And this week, what I chose was, the tea I chose, it's this one, which is from England, Yorkshire tea, and they call it bedtime tea because it's decaffeinated. So it has vanilla and nutmeg in it, so it's very nice, and it's a decaf, so it is nice at nighttime. And that's what I chose today. Let me just try it. Oh, very nice. It's not too strong, and it just has an ever so subtle taste of nutmeg and vanilla. Very nice. So I just like to end with this technique. It's a calming technique that I also saw on YouTube this week, and it helps us shift to a more soothed state of being. That's what she said. And the first thing you do, you just sort of rub your hands together like this gently, just like this, in some fashion like that, to help us get into a more soothed state of being. And then she said what we can do is rub our forehead and cheeks, which we do when we put on moisturizer or makeup. And many times when you do your makeup and moisturizer, it is a nice soothing thing to do. So Just do that for a couple of minutes. And then the last thing she suggested was what she called a moving hug. So you just run your hands down your arms like this. And you'll find if you do that, you do become into a more calmed state. So give yourself a moving hug this week. I hope to see you next week. And until then, bye-bye.